turns the table. He starts off masculine and then starts to come across feminine. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert, head coach and trainer at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that men find completely irresistible. Can I get an amen? Okie dokie. So if you are a feminine woman who loves masculine men, this is the channel for you. And I will be creating videos like this for you moving forward based on some of the conversations that I've been having with you ladies in my inbox, as we all date together and get an idea of what we should be looking for when we are dating as feminine women. So I get a lot of questions of Chengi. I date these guys, they come across really masculine, they pay, they do all of these things, they show up as masculine. The moment I'm in a relationship with them, all of a sudden there is a shift. All of a sudden I am now the masculine. Now they want me to do all of the masculine things, and I'm confused because I've run all my protocols and hey presto. Okay, so let's explore some of the reasons why this would happen. Number one reason is sometimes even us as women, energy can be shifted. Now, those of you who really want to get a deeper understanding and do a deep dive of energy mastery, there is an energy mastery class that will be made available in August where you can get your early bird prices from the link in the description, and it will give you a deeper dive into how energy works and how energy flows. And once you understand that, you will understand this video even better. Okay, so when it comes to, as women, we can show up very much in feminine energy. And if we've been operating in masculine energy for the majority of our lives, what tends to happen is we are still falling into default position. We are still allowing ourselves to be masculine. We feel more comfortable in the masculine. So just like a feminine man who perhaps is trying to be more masculine, understands what women want in general, would show up more feminine, more masculine in the beginning, and then switch to his default, so also are we. So normally this happens quite a lot with women who show up feminine. They allow, the man to lead. They give him respect in the beginning and do all of the right things. And then when she's in a relationship with him, she then turns the table and she becomes the masculine principal. She begins to mother him. She begins to, take charge and take the lead and pay for things and move him into her house and do all of these things that she wasn't doing in the beginning. And then it shifts energy, because you can't destroy energy, but you can shift it. And some men are already feminine, and so, or they don't really mind because they're not really trying to keep you. They'll take the benefits, but they're really not trying to stay for good. So they then relax into the feminine, date other women who will allow them to be the masculine. And this is a trap a lot of women fall into, because you can actually meet a masculine man who's not pretending to be masculine, and then you shift into your masculine energy and he just falls back and enjoys the ride. Because sometimes when we are taking on that masculine, we make life so much better, and then he will start dating other women who are a bit more feminine, who will stay in their feminine, and you will be paying for this relationship and making it easier for him to afford another relationship with a feminine woman. So sometimes this is the case. A second reason why this is the case is some feminine men understand that to get a certain caliber of woman, they have to, lead with their masculine footing. But once they get their foot in the door, then they relax, pull back into their feminine, and then you kind of find yourself again, that energy, you're now forced to be in your masculine in order to keep them, because now you have a deep emotional connection, and in your head you're trying to work it out because he's masculine, but okay, maybe I can help him this time, or maybe I can step in this time, and maybe it's only a one-off until you realize actually you are now stuck in your masculine in this relationship, and you feel a little bit duped, right? But then also there are those of us who don't understand that energy is honest, and energy wants to be seen, it wants to be read, it wants to be acknowledged. Energy is a bit of a show off, and you will be able to read the energy if you are mindful and aware for what you are looking for. And in the energy mastery class, I really go into how the concepts, the 10 things that a person has to do in order to really be able to read energy. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the telltale signs, because no matter how much someone is pretending, our bodies, when we're not in alignment, when the mind and the heart are not in alignment, our bodies will give us away. Our actions will give us away. Our processes will give us away. And to the trained eye and to the informed mind, it's very clear for us to see that there's what he's saying and what he's doing is very, very feminine. The decisions he's making are very feminine. And a feminine man shows up very, very quickly. I always say to my ladies in the Black Swan Nation, which you have a 10-day trial for the month of July, and this is my group coaching session where I go in there. I'm going to be in there live today, answering the questions for the girls, interacting with them, and really just answering all of their questions. And so will my coaches, and the style concierge is really a place where we groom you, teach you, show you. You give us the text messages, we know what you're saying, we give you scripts to say back. It's fantastic, it's supportive. And all of the women in there are just so loving and so sweet. So really we have to so if you want to do that, feel free to join Black Swan Nation. The link is in the description below, and you get 10 days free trial. Okie dokie. So what are some of the things we can pick up on quite quickly to help us decipher if this person is feminine energy and they're pretending to be masculine? Now, none of these 10 on their own indicate that he's feminine. You need a few of these. And also you need strong communication skills. You need to learn how to pull out red flags and communicate, orange flags and communicate. It's not enough to just observe and make a conclusion about somebody. You actually need to have a conversation about it, or call it out and see if his response is going to be even more feminine or if it's going to be the masculine. I'm going to be teaching you that in this video because you're here to be trained and to really get smart. Again, there are courses in the blackswanrelationshipacademy.com where you will learn how to master your femininity, how to have emotional mastery, how to have attraction mastery, how to flirt and date. The courses are just pouring in. I am creating them for you all the time, and now I've got other course creators that will be joining, so you can really invest yourself in learning. You don't have to just depend on the YouTube videos. You can really do a deep dive into a lot of these concepts that I'm discussing with you today. So let's get this party started. And this is really for a woman who is paying attention, okay? So it's really important that you pay attention. Firstly, we need to be clear that the feminine man is the man who has feminine priorities, who desires to be protected, to be provided for, and to be cherished. Okay, this is what he is dating for. He's dating for somebody who will provide for him, who will protect him, who will cherish him. The feminine man thinks in terms of, I earn $100 and for argument's sake, I want to live in that house, so I need to date a woman who makes $100 or $200 or $300 so that we can put our money together and I can live in that house and I can feel secure and I can feel looked after. I am looking for a woman who I don't feel good about myself as a man, and I want somebody who will cherish me. I want somebody who will put my feelings before theirs. So I need to find a woman who is a go-getter, who's ambitious, who's focused on her work, and you know, a woman who will attend to my every need because this is what I want. So these men are, you know, they're also thinking, I don't feel safe, and so I need a woman who's aggressive and who's strong, a strong woman who's going to make me feel safe. And I know this sounds absurd, maybe to some of us, but I cannot tell you how many men actually have feminine priorities. And I am not referring to gay men or men in the trans community or heterosexual males who are attracted to women and identify as heterosexuals. Yes, I'm not talking about anybody other than that group of men. Okay, these men come in their droves. Now, what's really sad is many of them don't actually know they're feminine. They actually believe that they are masculine because they are men, because they're in a male body. The way they're thinking and the way they're behaving is actually masculine, and many of them will defend their position and their right to have somebody, you know, look after them and pay their bills. And many of them have zero shame about hunting for a woman who will provide for them. Zero shame. They will point blank say to you, you know, how much do you earn? What do you bring to the table? These are those guys, and they feel validated in so doing, because unfortunately we live in a world that does validate them. And you know, you have dating coaches out there who teach men how to have women chase them, again putting the male in the female, in the feminine, to be receptive. So a woman is really only interested in you, guy, if she's chasing you. And I remember having this conversation with my guy friend who was like, yeah, I'm really winning out here in these streets because, you know, I've got all these women chasing me. And I said, well, it just seems to me that you've just become a girl and you have masculine women chasing you, because you do not know, you do not verify what a feminine woman's interest by how much she comes after you. This is masculine energy, and this is a masculine principle. And as much as it is fun for you and makes your job easier, if you like, these are the women that will 100% guaranteed, no doubt, disrespect you during the course of your relationship, because they are masculine principle women. And as I began to explain to me, began to understand that a woman chasing a man and feminine men truly believe that if a woman is chasing them back, that, you know, she is showing that she is interested and invested in the relationship. But we know that the feminine woman shows her interest and investment by being receptive and available and respecting. This is how a masculine man actually identifies that he is with the right woman and that she's actually interested in him. Again, a lot of men were not taught this. A lot of men grew up with no fathers or feminine fathers. A lot of men, sadly, are in feminine energy and is really, really unattractive, but they don't realize it. And some are actually really violently protective of their feminine energy. So the only thing we can do as feminine women is to really do our best to weed them out of our selection process. Okay, so we don't want to negotiate with them. We don't want to argue with them. We don't want to be here sending essays between ourselves, trying to justify why we are making the decisions we're making. We just need to identify them. We need to communicate what we desire as feminine women. And when we get the feedback from their response, determine whether they're feminine or masculine. If they're feminine, we will gladly just say to them, thank you so much. I can tell that you're looking for a woman who, you know, will do 50-50 with you or meet you halfway. Unfortunately, I feel we're not compatible, because I'm actually looking for somebody who is comfortable being a provider, a protector, and somebody who would cherish me. So I wish you all the best on your journey. We don't need to be mean, because there's always going to be a masculine woman who is ready to take on a feminine guy. Okay, sadly, these masculine women end up in my DMs because they're tired, they've been used, abused, and thrown to the dogs. But there's always a lid for every pot, and your behind does not need to be that girl. Honestly, we don't have to worry and argue and go into being mean to each other in the comment section or anywhere. It's really not a fight. The high value feminine woman doesn't want to disgrace herself. She does not want to, you know, spend time arguing and fighting and being mean to men. This is not what we invest our time into. We just need to be able to vet and select and eliminate those who we know we're not compatible with. So what are some of the signs that you can look for that really show up early in the dating world? So number one, and not in any particular order, a smooth talker. Okay, what do I mean by a smooth talker? Feminine men are very charming. They're very good with your words. They're very flattering. They lead with all of this charm. It's like a charm offense. You're overwhelmed with the charm. The way they speak to you is like smooth butter. I mean, these men speak straight into your psychology. They just overwhelm you with charm and you're taken aback. This is a red flag. Ladies, masculine energy men are charming but not overly charming, because often they're just really real people who spend a lot of time in pursuit of, who spend a lot of time pursuing their purpose. These are people that really are focused on making the money, creating the life for themselves, and for the woman they're hoping to invite into the life they've created, and for the family they're hoping to create. So their minds are not really, they're not trolling the internet to get tricks of how they can get girls. They just genuinely men who have their minds on other things. So they're not always going to be the best conversationalists. They're not always going to be the smoothest talkers. They're just going to be good at conversation, decent humans. They're not going to blow you away with, whatever, lines and all of these things. And that's not to say that they have no charm, but it's not at the level that we're talking. So when a guy is super charming and all of his words and his promises, they're not in alignment with any action, this guy is really a flashing red flag. We know that he is more likely to be feminine than he is to be masculine, because a masculine man would rather do. Masculinity is really defined by action. They're doers. They show what they mean and what they feel by doing. Right now I've got a client who's dating a guy who's such a doer. Like, he will do. The man just shows up, right? And she's upset because he's not verbalizing or professing yet. But that's because masculine men would rather show you, and when they profess, it's like signing a contract. They take their word very seriously. They're men of integrity. Their word is their bond. They're the classic man. So he's not just going to make you empty promises. So this is definitely, and a lot of us get woo-wooed into getting into a relationship with men who are very smooth talking. So this is something that you really need to pay attention to. Number two, you are on a dating app and he's arranging a first date and he says, let's meet halfway. One of the biggest red flags for a feminine guy to pick up on a femme, he is obsessed with equality, with fairness. He is obsessed with the 50-50 principle. Oh my gosh, he would march on the streets of any city, country to declare that 50-50 is the right way, because this man does not understand the difference between equality and equity. He wants equality because at the end of the day, equality often leads to an unfair setup. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that too much, but this is a massive red flag. When a man says, let's meet halfway, listen, a masculine energy man knows what he wants, is prepared to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. This is their natural disposition. This is not something you have to fight them on. It's not something you have to sell them on. If you live in one city and he lives in another, he is not going to be asking you to meet him halfway. He's going to say, okay, I'll come over and take you out on a date. Can you recommend any hotels? Or he will just book a hotel. He won't expect you to get beautiful, put on your pretty dress, be on your best and drive to meet him 2 hours. He will come. And I know this might seem extreme to some of us, but I have had clients whose boyfriends are still seeing these men who travel across borders every weekend to visit them. When a masculine man knows what he wants, sees what he wants, it is in his nature to rise up and give it everything he has. So no excuses. You know, some of these men are not even crossing borders. They're not even getting on airplanes. Some of these men are probably even in the same, you know, the same town, but they're just not prepared to come to your side of town. Everything must be in the middle. This is feminine. And I promise you, when I tell my girls, okay, say to him that I would feel more comfortable if you came closer to me. A feminine man, without a shadow of a doubt, is going to do the following. He's going to seek to negotiate. But why would you do that? I mean, we're in a modern world. I really feel like, you know, or he'll say, oh, my job finishes a bit late, and if I come all the way to you, I won't be able to make it on time. So if we met halfway, so he's going to be full of excuses. He's going to shame you. Oh, I thought you were a modern woman. Don't you think that it's fair that we meet halfway? What if we don't get on and I've come all the way? This, ladies, is feminine. Okay, once a man suggests halfway and you tell him in a feminine, high value way, thank you so much for inviting me out on a date, I really am excited about meeting you and spending time with you, I just feel more comfortable, I would feel more comfortable if you would meet me on this side. And if he gives you any of the former, this guy is feminine, just say to him, I completely understand. You have every right to want to meet halfway. Unfortunately, I'm looking for a man who's prepared to actually make, you know, to cherish me and make sure that I'm comfortable. And therefore, I just feel like we are not compatible. Now, often what happens to my girls in Black Swan Nation, when I give them that script and they give it, some guys will be like, okay, I'll come and meet you. I'll make the effort. For me personally, this is a little bit too late because he's already shown you who he is. And I feel like sometimes as women, we are so desperate, we really, really like him that we will do okay. But he's showing you his default. In this time, when you told him the first time and he didn't give you a masculine response, which would be as follows: no problem, I want you to be comfortable. Yeah, I'll come over. What is a good time for you? This is what a masculine man will say. Even if he suggested halfway and you tell him you're not comfortable, because he is cherishing in his nature, he will come over to you. Okay, so at this point, you've given an opportunity to get insight into your feelings about it. And a masculine man will respond by wanting you to be comfortable and cherishing you for your feelings. A feminine guy is going to negotiate with you until you meet him halfway. And God forbid you tell him you're not compatible, he's going to respond with the bitchiest comment that you've ever heard. So this is definitely one of the massive ways that you will know. The second way is he will invite you to coffee, a low investment date. Let's take a walk. Can we meet up at the park and take a walk by the river? Or can we, you know, meet up for a coffee? Now, ladies, you can go for coffee if you want to go for a coffee. You know, your value and your time, you put a price on that. I personally do not feel cherished, and I do not feel like a man is putting his best foot forward for me if the best he can do is coffee. Because what's a coffee? £3 something, $5, I don't know, like a basic coffee, and expect me to do my hair, do my nails, do my makeup, show up looking great, and then require me to perform and show myself worthy for a higher investment date. This is feminine. Masculine energy men will put their best foot forward first because they're natural hunters. They select with their eyes. This is the woman I want to impress. This is the woman I've got to have, and I'm going to put my best foot forward. I really hope this video was helpful. I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Do not forget to get yourself a copy, to get yourself a seat in the Energy Mastery class, and when it is released, you'll be the first to know, and you'll be getting it obviously for a very highly discounted rate if you get it now. I look forward to seeing you on my next video, but in the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots. Bye bye now.